Hi guys, it's Kathy from Maryland. Check these out. We are going to make a master collage board today, step by step. We're going to add some fun vintage paper and colorful elements, cut it up, use some die cuts, and make some really fun elements that you could use in your journal. I wanted to get a few extra things for my new springtime journal, and that's why I'm doing this. So hang around, this is going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. So I've cut a piece of paper. I have these large sheets of paper. This is 12 by 18. It's nothing special. I mean, it's thicker than copy paper, but we're going to put a lot of layers on here, so this will be fine. I watched Tracy Fox a long time ago do a masterboard, and I loved the way she did it. I mean, maybe she doesn't always do this way, but this is what I learned. And this is how I'm going to do mine today. Let's just say that, because I do like the method. So I've got several book pages ripped out here from different types of books. And what I like about this when you look at this is they're all different tones. I think that's what makes a collage board interesting. So you've got whites, off-whites, you've got really vintage pages and some lighter color pages. So that's the first thing I wanted to say, is that get a variety of different texts, script, print, different fonts. That's what makes it interesting. And then what Tracy proceeded to do was she rips off all the white edges. So she doesn't like things without font on it. And I have really taken that on as my practice too, and it's fun. It's fun. I get a lot of sense of satisfaction out of tearing paper. So that's the first thing I do, is I tear off the white edges like that, and then I will tear that up into different rectangular shapes. So this, for instance, is a page out of Shakespeare. So then what I would do is my ruler. I mean, this is, you guys, I'm sure, are very well versed in doing this. So I wasn't even going to do this, but then I thought, yeah, but if I hadn't seen Tracy do it that day, I wouldn't really have changed my practice either. But wait till you see how nice this comes out. And again, I'm saying with the caveat that this collage I'm doing today, there are times to do a ripped up, fun, messy collage. There's a time and place for that. So let's take this beautiful old hymnal, and cuts like butter because it's so old. We're just going to take all those margins off, so that what we do get in the collage is going to be beautiful little pieces of notes. And you're not getting a whole lot of white paper. That's all. That's all I wanted to say about that. So you are not going to have to sit here and watch me cut all of this up, because I've already done that. I just wanted to talk about that. Different color paper, different type of fonts, and then I prefer cutting off the margins. I do love dictionary pages because the paper is so amazing. I use old dictionaries a lot. And plus, once in a while, you'll get a cool little image like that. And sometimes when you're doing a little narrow thing like that, it's a little tricky. Yeah, so different squares, rectangles, and then of course you'll adjust these as we go. So then what I do, so let's take these and put these over here. Then the next thing I do is I have a couple of trays, and I have my neutral pieces there. Let's add these to that. Of all my different book pages, all my different fonts. And then I have one for colored things, because we are going to add some colored things into this, as you'll see. So that's what I do. So I have those to choose from. So what I am decided to do today is, with this collage, is I'm going to add a few colored pieces in, but that's going to be on the second line. So now what I'll do is I'm going to start putting on my little pieces, and what I kind of do in the beginning is just mirror like one side to the other. I know that seems funny, but it's kind of a good way to give yourself a little start. And then I have this beautiful little cake spreader. I actually got a pack of like 5 of them on Amazon, and I love it. But you can use a credit card or anything you'd like to. And then I'll kind of take a similar page and go up in the other corner or on the other side somewhere just to get started. And then you don't do that for too long. Pretty soon you'll be doing all kinds of different things, but it's a nice way to get started. Yeah, so all the font will be in the same direction. I've cut off my edges. Okay, so here is the other half of my other sheet that I made the collage with, and I've pulled out the dies that I used. I just wanted to show you, these are from Elizabeth Craft Design. They're these postage stamp die cuts 2026, which I love because of that outline. And then this actually has like 3 layers, but I'm just doing 2 because I want a rim of the collaged paper. So I am going to use those, and then I'm just going to use some other random tag stamps, and we may not even use all of these. You'll just cut some up in random. But let's go ahead and just get these on here. So what I did was used a little bit of washi just to help center this on here. So let me do this. Let's do half at a time. So I'll just lay down. Now, if you don't have dies, you certainly can, it's a little bit too big, you certainly can just use a razor knife and do this. And that would be really nice as well. I want to do a circle one, I know that. Oh, I really love him. I love that puffin. I kind of want to get him in there if I can. Oh yeah, he is cute. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, we're gonna get him in there. He's cute. All right. Put that last one on there, and then we will run this through and see what we got. Okay, let's see what we have. This is the fun part. Oh, how fun, right? How fun are these cute frames and things? Come on, they are so fun. So let's put these aside. So now, what I wanted to do is use my laminator and put some pressed flowers in these. And then I also wanted to do a couple of paper dolls in those, just to give you an idea of what you can do. So let me go get my laminator fired up, and that's the next thing we'll do. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this part. I'm going to laminate some flowers to go into these beautiful little frames, and I recently got these. They're little mini laminating pouches, and actually they're 2.3 inches by 3.7 inches, and it's nice. I didn't even know these existed, and I was so happy to find out about them, because then you don't have to use a whole sheet. You can just do like little individual, because sometimes you don't need to do a whole sheet. So let's give this a try. So I've got these really pretty pressed daisies. I looked for matte, but I could not find matte. So let's get the background in like that. And I'm going to use this larger frame. So that's a perfect fit. So I just don't want these stems to extend, actually, because then there's a little added bulk. This is a little fussy, but I think the results are worth it. That's always the decision making, right? And do I have enough patience to do this for the results? And I think for this, yes, I do. I think I want one more little piece of green down here, so let's see what I have. So we're going to take a piece of deli paper. We're going to put that in like that and put that through and see what it looks like. Interesting enough, deli paper, see those little marks? Deli paper has a little bit of wax on it. And when I saw this gal using that, I wondered about that. But maybe her deli paper didn't have any wax. But you know what? I think that'll come right off if that's what it is. Hoping. So I think what I'll just use is just a piece of copy paper next time. I am happy with that. Look. Oh. See what it would look like. Here we go. I have this really pretty fine lace, And I was wondering what would happen if we put a piece with a flower on it. I don't know, we're going to find out. Let's see what happens. All right, so let's see what I'm thinking here before I get it in there. So it kind of needs to seal all the way around it. So that needs to be a little bit smaller. Oh, that's pretty. With like them hanging down like that, isn't it? Let's go like this. Knowing that some of it is going to be behind the frame, I suppose I could put the flower on before it goes in. Let's give that a whirl instead of the other way around. Oh my goodness, look at those. They just happen to be on top. I don't want to put those in just yet. Just trying to get some different tones of pink. These little guys here are pretty special. And then there's a little greenery back here. I didn't even know was back there. Oh boy. Well, that might be a little bit too much because I don't want to cover up all my lace. Let's go for something more delicate like this. Okay, I like doing this on here though because you kind of have a platform to work on before it goes in. That's cute. Let's see what it looks like in a frame. Oh, that's sweet. Very sweet. All right, the only last thing I wanted to try, I was thinking, what if you put a nice stamp see how they came out, guys. You know what I did? I decided to try turning them both ways. And so I turned them once. I did them once this way, and then I turned it and did them that way. Oh, they're cute. Yeah. Those are neat. I like them. You can see here there was a little tiny fiber that was trapped, but you know what? That is just very cool that you can preserve that stuff like that. These are going to be great in little frames. So what I wanted to show you was when I did my other dried pressed flowers in these, because that's plastic and that doesn't like to participate all the time, what I did was use double-sided glue. So for instance, let's see which one we like. The stamp, I like that. Let's see, I just need to cut a little bit off. I just wanted to show you how much space we have around, because my goal is to have enough of the paper around where I'm going to be able to glue that into the journal, and it's going to stick. I have a little piece of narrow washi, my double-sided glue, and what I'm going to do is put this all around, making sure I'm getting the very inner rim, and that way we don't have to put glue there. Okay, I just kind of fold that back because a little bit gets on there, but you don't see it. Just kind of fold it back in, and then I take my art glitter glue and I go a little bit around the outside of that tape just to catch anything that might have missed. And also we're going to put on, I'll show you, a little bit of washi, and it also tapes down the washi. So the glue isn't close enough where it's going to seep back through the middle. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So that's the top. This is the top. Once it's down, it's down. So let's make sure we get that where we want it. Get that double-sided tape to adhere. And then I just put a little bit of, just the tiniest bit, and I put a piece of washi tape over it. So you just put that right on the edge like that and just kind of press that down. That looks great. I love it. You know what I didn't do that I probably should have is ink the inside of that frame. Actually, you know what? I bet it would come off of here. Sure it would. Let's do it. Watch. Let's do it right now, because that's only plastic. Oh, yeah, that worked perfect. And then we take a paper towel and go like this. And all that ink comes off the, yeah. There. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to try was making like a gallery wall out of that. What I cut my frames out of. So first of all, let me make sure that's a good size. It could be too wide. It is a little wide. Let me see if I do it on one of the... At first I was going to laminate, so I've picked out some really fun little mini paper dolls, and I was going to laminate them, but because these squares, they're so little, you know, the plastic laminate does not like to stick to paper too well. So what I decided to do, I just found this really pretty piece of scrapbook paper. I am going to simply glue that onto there and then put each one of these guys in here. So yeah, what a fun way to use these extra pieces. And actually, let me practice what I preach with the inking on the glass, because look how well that works. You just kind of use the glass as your reservoir for ink. And it just keeps kind of coming back. So I think the best thing to do would be just to glue this right down to that, first of all. As long as we've got everything covered, it doesn't matter what the back looks like. I'm going to just give this a little clean because it's sticky and it's got ink on it. And I just want to give it a little go over. Let's see what we have here. And I thought I might use a little bit of cellophane tape, maybe, if it seems like it's appropriate. Actually, I think we were going to do something like that. This cute little gal there. All right, let me just try a little piece of this and see what I think. I didn't know if it should go up here. I think we'll put one piece here. I'll just cut that off the back. Yeah. All right, let's get these in. I think there's one last thing I'd kind of like to do before I finish that, and maybe put like a couple, a date or a signature down there. Three girls. They look like they're on their best behavior, don't they? Maybe, although we don't know what she's got behind her back. Little Missy with her teddy bear. And this little guy and his dog are gonna go in that last space. I couldn't plan that better if I tried. That is going to go right on a journal page, and I think we should just put it right in now. What do you guys think? Now, I could give this a little clip of the corners. All right, let's find a home for this. You know what am I doing? Why can't that hang off the page a little bit? Yeah, it can. And I can put something on the back here. Let's do that. Let me just put some washi down that. I kind of like that. Let's do that. Okay. Washi is going down. If I can remember now where I was going to put it, I think I was going to put it right here and have it hang off the page a little bit. Yeah, definitely doing that. You know what else might be nice here, guys, is if I gave this a little, give it a little top. I think that definitely needs something up top there. Let's do it. And actually, I could use this. There we go. Oh, I think that finishes that off really nicely. Cute. All right, let's get that in there. It's going to go right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I am happy with that. Cute as can be. Okay, so here we are. Look at this gorgeousness. Can you stand it? All right, so say you don't have any die cuts and you've made a beautiful masterboard like this. Let's just cut it up into some journal pages and some tags. And one thing you could do is you could turn it over and you could stencil the entire back. You could also put scrapbook paper on it, and that's not a bad idea. That's something I might think about actually right now, because then if you have a tag, let's do that. Let's just get a couple pieces of 12 by 12 and do this right. Something like that might be nice. It's just I guess it's easier to just look at the front. Look again at my gorgeous colors, what we want. Let's do something a little smaller because we've got a lot of different things going on. Stripe is nice too. Oh, that's pretty. Let's see if there's 2 of those. Yep. I only need 1 and a little bit more. Just to show you. Paper Studio, love these spring colors. Floral leaves, I think I got that at Hobby Lobby. Okay, turn this guy over. Let's put him on one side. I think the best thing to use, honestly, is probably the glue stick. I really just want to show you guys that you do not need any fancy equipment to do this. Pop my cutter right up here. And here we go. Let's do this side. All right, look at that. I have a back on all of my, whatever it is I'm going to make. It's now backed. And it also makes it a little sturdier. I'll bring this back up. And let's get some straight edges here, since we can. Is cut this in half. So we're just not working with such a massive piece. So let's do a tag. Let's do a couple tags. Okay, let's do a row of 3-inch tags. Nice. Let's do this. Let's do a smaller tag, and then I'll have a nice, like a square journal card. So if we do a 2.5 inch, that's going to leave me, yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Yep, that's what I wanted. So let's see. We'll do a 2-inch belly band. Okay. I might as well go ahead and do it. It would be 8.5 inches. Pull that out. Let's do 8.5. Okay. I would like a couple of pockets. So I think 4 inch is nice for a pocket. Go ahead and do by 3. It's kind of like the size of a pocket I like. That one didn't want to cut all the way through either. So I got out my little tag cutter. I'll flip that over. Love. I'm going to go ahead and just put one of these slits in the top. I'm going to give it a little notch. Nice. That's nice. I don't even know that I need to finish all these because I might want to use it for like a flip out or something like that. So let's just call it there. Okay guys, this is a massive make from these 2 collage boards. I just wanted to lay it all out here and show you. This stuff right over here, except for this, really can all be made into all kinds of cool stuff. We have tags, we have frames, we have, oh, and let's not forget this. Let's take a peek. I almost forgot our beautiful little paper doll gallery wall in the journal. How fun is that? From the leftover, right? That is great. My first thing, I like it a lot. Oh my gracious. I hope you've enjoyed this process. I definitely did. Next time we will come back, probably work in that journal a little bit, add some fun elements. But come on guys, check these out. Oh, look. But I wanted to show you that you don't need special die cuts and that you can make just beautiful, beautiful ephemera just with, you know, a razor knife, a pair of scissors, and a ruler. Just as fun. And this technique works really well with using the double-sided tape to put those in with the transparencies. Of course, the other option is to use wax paper. If you don't have a laminator, use wax paper and iron them together. If you've got a school teacher friend, most of them have laminators though. So you could give them some pressed flowers and say, hey, can you do a little laminating for me with these anyway? Thanks for being here, guys. This has been a lot of fun, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.